Our story takes place at Jiangyang University, where our protagonist, Shen, a second-generation rich kid, steps out of his supercar, flaunting his wealth in front of everyone. Not only does he arrive in style, but he's also dating the university's second-year goddess from the flight attendant class. Onlookers can hardly believe that Shen, who has just hardly started his college, is already involved with such a prominent beauty. Naturally, when someone is both wealthy and attractive, they tend to have first choice in partners. In Shen's case, it's more than just first choice. He practically has a monopoly. Numerous first-year goddesses are head over heels for him, and ordinary students figure they'll stay single throughout college. After all, who wouldn't want to date a second-generation rich kid? However, Shen's lavish, spendthrift lifestyle envied by everyone comes to an abrupt end during his junior year. His family's 3 travel agencies go bankrupt, leaving them with $1 million in debt. Those who once called him Big Brother and surrounded him every day now refuse to even look at him. One by one, his old fair-weather friends disappear, shunning him as if he's plagued. His parents and sister are squeezed into a small, rented apartment, and Shen, who used to show up to college in a luxury car, finds himself moving back into a dorm. With things as they are, the carefree life he once knew is gone. He's not even sure if he can afford a decent existence anymore. Then comes another blow. His girlfriend, Jo, breaks up with him. She tells Shen not to contact her again, and hopes he finds a more suitable partner. Shen is shocked. After 3 years together, she's ending things so abruptly. Jo explains there was never any real love between them, and that they were only together for convenience. She also warns him never to call her Ting again, wishing to cut all ties. With that, she gets into a friend's car, which has come to pick her up. Shen forces a smile and stops her, asking her to return the designer bags he bought for her, since she apparently won't need them anymore. Outraged, Jo accuses him of being shameless. She points out that all he ever gave her were a few crappy bags, yet now he wants them back. Shen calmly responds that if she refuses to return them, they can't truly break up. Gritting her teeth, Jo looks ready to explode, but her companion in the car urges her not to let it bother her. The older man beckons Ting to get in the car, and then asks Shen if he needs a ride. Shen is infuriated that this man dares to call her Ting, a nickname she refused to let Shen use. He curtly declines the ride, saying his dorm is close by. The man advises Shen not to take the breakup too seriously, and even offers to drive him home for his safety. Shen, suspecting they think he's a fool, insists he's fine. He tells the man that Jo Wanting is a good woman and to take care of her in the future. After all, men should give women the best. Then, as a final jab, Shen reveals some of Wanting's private preferences. She loves Okamoto 001 condoms, prefers regular stockings over fancy ones because they're more comfortable, and especially enjoys nurse and police uniforms in bed. Enraged, the man quickly drives off. As Shen watches them leave, he wonders if Jo made the right decision for herself and hopes her choice leads her to a better life. Just as he contemplates how to rebuild his own, a mysterious system window appears before him. Confused and alarmed, he wonders if he's dying or hallucinating. The window explains that it's the perfect life system. If Shen spends money on female partners, he'll be reimbursed triple the amount. The system initiates a time-limited task, instructing him to spend money on a woman who's of suitable age, has an affinity level over 60, and to earn her admiration. If he succeeds, his expenditures will return to him multiplied by 3, and if her affinity rises by 3 points, his refund will double again. The only requirement is that the money must come from Shen's own savings or cash. Shen is stunned, unsure whether to believe this is real or just a prank. Before he can think further, his teacher, Li Xiao, calls out to him. She's heard about the breakup and tells him not to let it stress him. After all, it's just a breakup. She offers a comforting thought. If it's over, the next one will be better. Encouraging him that he can find someone far better than Jo, she notices Shen seems distracted. Shen then realizes he can see numbers, like an affinity level, floating above Professor Li's head, and it dawns on him that the perfect life system might actually be real. Managing an awkward smile, he tells Li Xiao that he's fine. Seeing his improved mood, she mentions the scholarship she had spoken about before, and offers to help him, should he be interested. Shen tells Professor Li that a few thousand yuan is just a drop in the bucket compared to his family's massive debts, and it would be better to give the scholarship to someone who truly needs it. Professor Li nods and assures Shen that if he ever faces any issues in the future, whether it's about love or anything else, he can come to her anytime. With that, she heads back to class. Meanwhile, Shen decides to test whether he can really earn a triple refund through the Perfect Life System's time-limited task by spending money on Professor Li. He stops her before she leaves, thanks her for caring about him, and buys her a milk tea. Checking his phone afterward, he notices his original balance was 87 yuan. After spending 6 on the milk tea, he had 81 left. Suddenly, he receives 18 yuan in income, bringing his balance to 99 yuan. This confirms the refund is real. As long as Professor Li's affinity remains above 60, Shen can keep spending on her and continually receive refunds. Excited by this opportunity, he starts thinking about how to use it to pay off his family's debts. If he plays his cards right, his family might end up even richer than before. However, he only has 99 yuan in actual capital, which isn't enough. Over the next few days, he scrapes together 8,000 yuan by selling gold bars, borrows another 20,000 yuan, secures a 21,585 yuan business loan, and still has his original 99 yuan, totaling 49,684 yuan. He decides to buy Professor Li an expensive gift. Since she sees him as a poor student from a bankrupt family, he needs a plausible reason for her to accept it. He chooses a 39,800 yuan handbag from the latest spring collection, and plans to tell Professor Li he got it from a knockoff deal, so it didn't cost much. Without wasting any time, Shen heads to Professor Li's place. He worries that she might have a boyfriend, but he still knocks on her door. Professor Li answers, surprised to see him, and asks what he's doing there. Shen notices she's in the middle of cooking, and quickly apologizes for disturbing her at home. He explains that for 3 years, she has taken care of him like any good teacher would, but only now does he realize how precious her support has been. As a small token of gratitude, he offers her the handbag. Professor Li immediately recognizes it as something quite expensive, and insists there's no need. After all, it's her job to support her students, and she treats all of them the same. Shen assures her it's just a cheap knockoff, costing only about 2,000 yuan, and reminds her of his own family's situation. He could never afford anything truly expensive. He emphasizes that it's just a small sign of his appreciation, and asks her to accept it. Seeing how earnest he is, Professor Li realizes that refusing the gift might hurt Shen's feelings, especially after his recent breakup. She finally accepts and tells Shen she'll return the favor on a holiday or his birthday. Suddenly, the stir-fry on the stove begins to burn. Professor Li rushes back into the kitchen and invites Shen inside, asking him to stay for dinner. Shen jumps at this opportunity, but he politely inquires if her boyfriend would mind him staying over. He also needs to be near Professor Li to maintain her affinity and earn more refunds from the system. Just then, Shen's phone shows a deposit of 119,400 yuan, his triple refund for the 39,800 yuan bag. Subtracting the cost, he's made nearly 80,000 yuan profit. Although Shen has spent that much money before, earning it on his own feels entirely different. Lost in thought, he's startled when Professor Li returns to tell him to sit down for dinner. He composes himself and casually asks if her boyfriend will be joining them. Surprised, Professor Li replies that she doesn't have a boyfriend at all. At that moment, she struggles to remove her kitchen apron. Shen offers to help, but Professor Li politely insists it's unnecessary. He persists, saying he'll have it fixed in no time. Suddenly, Professor Li Xiao's younger sister, Li Meng, appears and shouts, "What are you two doing?" Startled, Shen jumps back and hurriedly explains they weren't doing anything improper. Professor Li smiles and asks her sister why she's home so late before introducing Shen to Li Meng as one of her students. Shen awkwardly greets Li Meng, but she coldly replies that she's not in the mood to chat. Realizing the sudden tension, Shen quickly turns to Professor Li and claims he already ate before coming over, so he's heading back to campus. Professor Li, confused, reminds him he was just about to sit down for dinner a moment ago. However, Li Meng cuts in, warning her sister that this boy is up to no good. Professor Li dismisses her sister's worry, insisting that Shen is simply her student, and invites her to sit down for dinner instead. As Shen leaves, he wonders who he should spend money on next to continue earning his system refunds. His teacher is strictly a student-teacher relationship. She's nothing like Zhou Wanting, who was only after money. While pondering this, Shen bumps into his roommate, Lao Huang, who looks upset. Shen asks him what's wrong, and Lao Huang reveals that his goddess, Fang Minhui, one of the prettiest sophomores in the International Trade Department, went to see a movie with Li Junpeng. Shen remembers that Lao Huang's affection for Fang Minhui has always been one-sided. They've never spoken, or had any real relationship. Seeing Shen's expression, Lao Huang accuses him of making fun of him, but Shen assures him he's not. He gently reminds Lao Huang that someone like Fang Minhui is out of his reach. Just then, they spot Fang Minhui and her friend. Lao Huang breathes a sigh of relief, realizing that Fang Minhui only went to the movies with Li Junpeng. They didn't go to a hotel. Watching Lao Huang get so worked up, Shen silently worries that his friend is losing all dignity in his pursuit of a girl. He doubts things will end well for him. But when Shen gets a closer look at Fang Minhui, he's taken aback. Her principles appear even stricter than Professor Li's. Meanwhile, Fang Minhui's friend points Shen out to her, mentioning that he recently got dumped by his girlfriend. She recalls how, during their basic training at the start of the semester, she had even encouraged Minhui to get close to Shen or buy him drinks. Now, however, she regrets suggesting that, apparently, wealthy guys like him often have bad attitudes. It's understandable for someone to act a bit arrogantly when they're loaded, but Shen supposedly remained just as cocky even after his family went bankrupt. She speculates that might be why his girlfriend left him. From a distance, Shen sees that Minhui's affection level for him is initially quite high, and he's thrilled he might have found someone who thinks well of him, potentially bringing more profit through his system. Suddenly, though, her affection plummets when her friend fills her in on the rumors. Shen realizes he can't just stand by, he needs to act quickly. Turning to his roommate Lao Huang, Shen asks if he'd be upset if Shen and Fang Minhui ended up together. Knowing Shen no longer has the wealth or sports car he once did, Lao Huang merely shrugs and says he wouldn't mind. As long as Minhui isn't with Li Jianping, it doesn't matter who she dates. Encouraged, Shen immediately follows after Minhui, determined to seize the moment. Catching up to her, Shen calls her name. Minhui blushes upon seeing him, but her friend steps in and demands to know what he wants. Shen calmly asks if Minhui is free tomorrow. He has booked a table at Xing Sushi and would like her to join him. Minhui's friend is surprised, remarking that Xing Sushi is a Japanese restaurant where a single meal can cost over 1,000 yuan per person. Shen explains that he's simply hoping Minhui can help him choose a birthday gift for his sister, and tells her to let him know by noon the next day if she's available. He heads back to his dorm. After he leaves, Minhui asks her friend if it's alright for her to have just watched a movie with Li Jianping one day, and then go to dinner with Shen Yuan the next. Her friend insists there's nothing wrong with it, it's just dinner and a stroll, no big deal. Besides, the food at Xing Sushi is top-notch. She points out that while Shen might seem a bit arrogant, he's at least handsome, whereas Li Jianping only has his family's money. If Shen's family recovers financially, he'll easily surpass Li Jianping. Minhui agrees in the end. The next day, she goes out with Shen for dinner at Xing Sushi. Over the meal, Minhui gently brings up his family's current financial troubles, saying he doesn't need to spend so much. Shen tells her not to worry. Splurging occasionally for good food is worth it. Minhui then asks why he invited her to dinner out of the blue. Is it really just for help picking out a birthday gift? Or is there another reason? Nervous, Shen assures her it isn't a big deal. He's wanted to treat her to dinner for a while, but never found the right moment. Initially satisfied, Minhui's affection level mysteriously starts to drop again. Sensing that, Shen quickly changes the subject. He reminds her how, during basic training, she often brought him drinks, and they used to chat on WeChat late into the night, and how he misses those carefree days. Recalling that time, Minhui's fondness for him rises rapidly. 40 minutes later, dinner ends, and Shen pays the 2,774 yuan bill. To his relief, Minhui's affection level increases significantly once again. Minhui can't believe that her monthly budget is only 3,000 yuan, yet this one meal has already cost almost a month's worth of her expenses. She recalls how, when she went to the movies with Li Jianping, he insisted on eating first at the school cafeteria and saving an actual restaurant visit for next time. Despite his family's wealth, he's so stingy. Just then, Shen receives a system notification. He has triggered a time-limited task. He must spend money on a person of the opposite sex, with an affinity level above 60, and win their admiration. If he successfully completes the task, he will be refunded 3 times the amount he spends. Furthermore, for every 3-point increase in that person's affinity, the total refund will be doubled. Shen notices Minhui's affinity level steadily rising, and the thought of earning a quick 10,000 yuan from a single meal excites him. Meanwhile, Minhui feels increasingly happy. The more she looks at Shen, the more she likes him, even if it's partly due to his money. She grabs Shen's hand and urges him to go to the mall to pick out a gift for his sister. A short while later, they arrive at a shopping mall. Shen spots Zhou Wanting and her new boyfriend. Zhou sees him as well, shocked that he's already out with someone else so soon after their breakup. Her new boyfriend grows irritated. How dare a supposedly poor student like Shen spend money in a place like this, when he himself has had to buy so many bags for Zhou just to win her over? And here Shen is, broke and in debt, yet still attracting women. Seeing Zhou again, Shen initially thinks about avoiding her, but Zhou's boyfriend seizes the chance to ridicule him. He suggests they all go inside, pointing out that window shopping costs nothing. Unfazed, Shen explains he's there to buy a gift for his sister, nothing more. Zhou's boyfriend laughs, telling him to try the wholesale market instead. This mall is surely out of his price range. Zhou then approaches Manhwa, warning her not to be fooled by Shen, who, according to her, is no longer a rich heir, but just a poor student. Shen intervenes, stating that he has never deceived anyone, and that Zhou should stop talking nonsense. Zhou's boyfriend steps forward and tells Shen not to speak to her that way, reminding him that everyone knows Shen's family has gone bankrupt, so there's no need to pretend he's still rich. Shen, disgusted, silently notes that these two really do deserve each other. Suddenly, Shen receives another time-limited task from the system. He must spend money on a person of the opposite sex, with an affinity level over 60, and cause other people's negative emotions to rise. For every 5-point increase in others' negative emotions, directly caused by him, the system will double the amount refunded for his spending on that opposite-sex individual. This new task can be combined with the original refund task. Shen can't believe his luck. He'd been prepared to leave them some dignity, but since they insist on provoking him, and now that the system has issued this quest, why not oblige? He grabs Manhwa's hand and heads inside the store. A sales associate with black hair tells her colleague to attend to Shen Yuan, explaining that he used to be a regular customer. The colleague, however, objects. She sees no point in serving a bankrupt ex-rich kid. The last time a fake socialite came in, she dragged them around, sampled everything, and left without buying a thing. She doesn't want to deal with that again. Just then, Zhou Wanting picks out a luxury bag and asks her boyfriend, Jun, to pay, making sure Shen notices. The black-haired sales associate immediately attends to Zhou Wanting, while the other associate looks on in frustration. She can't believe all the high-spending customers always go to her colleague, leaving her with the supposedly difficult ones. The first sales associate praises Zhou Wanting's excellent taste. Meanwhile, Shen tells Manhwa not to worry about money, and to choose whatever she thinks his sister would like. Manhwa points out a stylish, high-quality bag she's certain his sister will love. However, the sales associate standing nearby warns Shen that the bag and matching accessories cost over 50,000 yuan, a hefty amount for someone whose family is rumored to be bankrupt. On the other side of the store, Jun starts to sweat. He thought a 20,000 yuan bag would be enough for Zhou Wanting, but now she wants a full set worth 100,000 yuan. Zhou whispers in his ear, telling him to pay up. After all, Shen is watching, and she wants Jun to show his strength as her boyfriend. The problem is, Jun doesn't have enough on his card. Just then, Shen tells the sales associate he'll take both bags and the accessories the other miss recommended. Zhou Wanting, Jun, Manhwa, and the initially skeptical sales associate are all stunned. Nervously, the associate calculates the total and announces it's 131,000 yuan. Shen smiles, remembering he has exactly that amount left after his refund from dinner. He hands over his card and pays in full. The sales associate is thrilled. She never expected broke Mr. Shen to purchase over 130,000 yuan's worth of goods, making a single sale that large. Zhou Wanting, furious, demands to know where Shen got the money. Wasn't he supposed to be bankrupt? Jun accuses Shen of possibly taking out a loan just to show off. Shen replies that they can believe whatever they want, then suggests Jun buy another bag for Zhou if he wants to impress her, pointing out that 20,000 yuan should be nothing for someone who drives a car worth at least 600,000 or 700,000. Zhou Wanting, glaring at Jun, urges him to show that arrogant brat who's boss. But Jun, who secretly bought his luxury car on a loan, uses an important call as an excuse and slips away. Infuriated, Zhou Wanting gives Shen a parting glare and warns him to take care of himself. By this point, Shen's system indicates that the negative emotion levels he needed to trigger for the task have reached the target. Arguing further would be pointless. He's already met the requirement. Shen then offers one of the luxury bags to Manhwa, who initially refuses, protesting that it's too expensive. Shen insists it's nothing, just a small apology for all the nasty remarks she had to endure. Reluctantly, Manhwa accepts. She's confused about whether the gifts weren't supposed to be for Shen's sister. Shen casually excuses himself, saying he doubts his sister would like these particular styles, and besides, she'd scold him for splurging and then tell their parents. He confesses he actually intended these bags for Manhwa from the start. Manhwa blushes, worried that accepting so much will make her look like a gold digger. Shen tells her not to overthink it. This is only the beginning, and they have plenty of time ahead. Finally, Manhwa agrees to accept everything. At that moment, the system sends Shen a congratulatory notification for completing the limited time task. It shows he generated 15 points of negative emotion, tripling the amount spent, and, combined with the triple refund for spending on a woman with an affinity above 60, the total refund has increased sixfold. He receives 786,000 yuan in his bank account. Shen takes Manhwa's hand, thinking, Manhwa is now my golden goose. I need to take good care of her and keep her affection level from dropping. He then suggests they head back to school, as it's getting late. Although he wants to spend more time with her, he knows it's best to let things progress naturally. Later, in the boys' dormitory, Shen runs into Li Jianping, boasting to his friends about Fang Minhui. His friends urge Li Jianping to celebrate and treat them to dinner. Li Jianping agrees, deciding to invite the entire class and throw a huge party, mostly to make Shen jealous. Shen couldn't care less. He simply heads back to his room. Once there, one of his friends tells him more about Li Jianping's bragging. Apparently, after Li Jianping took the flower of their course to the movies, he now wants everyone at school to know. Shen responds by saying not to worry. He believes Minhui won't go with Li Jianping again. His friend scoffs, pointing out that Minhui did go to the movies with Li Jianping the previous night, and who knows what else might have happened. Plus, she didn't agree to meet Li Jianping today, which might mean she's still considering him. Shen remains unfazed, confident that Minhui won't choose Li Jianping. Right now, Shen has more than enough money anyway, so he decides to pay a visit to his home. The next day, at Shen Yuan's house, Shen's uncle Yaode drops by to meet with Shen's parents. Shen's father asks his uncle to wait a moment as they talk. It turns out Uncle Yaode is here to demand repayment of the money he lent to Shen's family. He claims he needs it urgently in the coming days to cover his own expenses. Shen's mother becomes furious, reminding him that when he didn't have money to start his car wash, they lent him 300,000 yuan without pressuring him for repayment. Yet now, because the family recently borrowed 200,000 yuan from him during their crisis, he keeps hounding them for the money. Shen's father tries to calm his wife, suggesting that perhaps his brother genuinely has difficulties of his own. However, Shen's mother retorts that she spoke to Uncle Yaode's wife, who said they had no urgent expenses. Uncle Yaode insists that paying back debts is normal, and that if they were strangers, the family would have already faced aggressive debt collection methods. Shen's mother is livid that he'd go so far as to threaten them with violent collection tactics, given how much they've helped him in the past. Seeing the argument escalate, Shen's father tells his wife to bring out her gold jewelry, sell it, and use the proceeds to pay off the family's debts. Shen, witnessing this scene, suddenly receives a system notification, a time-limited task to pay off family or personal debts. If he completes this task, the amount he pays off will be doubled as a refund. Moreover, the first time he pays 200,000 yuan, he'll receive a special reward of 1 million yuan, specifically for a luxury car purchase. Shen is both surprised and relieved. This task couldn't have come at a better time. Even if the system hadn't prompted him, he already planned to help reduce his family's financial burden that day. Meanwhile, Shen's mother gathers all the jewelry Shen's father ever gave her. No matter how hard times got, she never sold them before. Although they're only worth a few thousand yuan, they're priceless to her. As she looks through the pieces carefully, she notices 2 gold rings missing. She and her husband wonder if the rings got lost during the move. Outside the room, Shen overhears their conversation and feels embarrassed. It was he who took and sold those 2 gold rings in his first year of college, because he didn't have enough money to buy Joe wanting a bag at the time. Back then, I was such a jerk, he thinks. He steps inside and tells his parents that he has the money they need. His mother and father don't believe him, insisting he shouldn't joke around. They remind him of how bad their situation is, urging him instead to just top up his campus cafeteria card with whatever pocket money he might have. But Shen insists he's serious. To prove it, he transfers a sum into his father's bank account. Shocked to see 200,000 yuan arrive, his parents demand to know where the money came from. Shen can't tell them about the system, so he makes up a story. He used to have a decent allowance, invested it in cryptocurrency with a friend, never touched it, and it recently went up tenfold. His parents are thrilled. With this amount, they can pay off Uncle Yaode's debt and ease some pressure. They give the money to Uncle Yaode, and Shen's mother angrily tells him to leave, adding that it'd be better if their families didn't stay in close contact anymore. Uncle Yaode, surprised at how quickly they managed to repay him, wonders if Shen's family might be on the verge of prospering again. But with how he behaved today, he realizes they may never get along with him in the future. After completing the system's time-limited task, Shen immediately gets his reward, 400,000 yuan, plus 1 million yuan, specifically for a car, for a total of 2,186,356 yuan in his bank account. He smiles, thinking that even if he excludes the 1 million yuan set aside for a new car, his net worth has exceeded 1 million yuan, all while helping his parents through a tough time. He knows his family's debts are nowhere near resolved. Even if he handed over every yuan he currently has, it wouldn't be enough. The best plan is to use his capital to make more money. For now, he only gives 200,000 yuan to his father. When Shen asks if they urgently need more, His mother says the other debts aren't pressing. His father does request 50,000 yuan, and Shen obliges, recalling with some irony that he used to ask his dad for money in a similar manner. On his way back to school, Shen unexpectedly runs into Professor Li. He asks why she's off campus, and she explains there are no classes that afternoon, so she went out for fresh air. Shen seizes the moment and invites her to dinner, hoping to earn more system income, but notices she isn't alone. Her younger sister Li Meng is with her. Li Meng gives Shen a cold, angry stare, which unnerves him. Realizing she seems like his nemesis, Shen quickly excuses himself, claiming he has urgent business on campus. Li Meng remarks to her sister that the guy clearly has ulterior motives, but Professor Li brushes it off, saying even if he did, she wouldn't accept them. As Shen heads back, he's drenched in sweat. He recalls how comfortable it used to be driving around in an air-conditioned car with Zhou wanting. Then he remembers the system allocated him a special 1 million yuan car fund. Not using it would be disrespectful to the great system, he thinks, and immediately calls Manhwa, asking if she'll join him to check out some cars. She agrees, telling him she's free that afternoon. Her friend teases her about car shopping together already, wondering if they'll end up spending the night together. Manhwa blushes, insisting they aren't even an official couple yet. Her friend laughs it off, saying it doesn't matter. Manhwa is lucky to have found a handsome, wealthy guy, and it's only a matter of time before they're officially dating. Embarrassed, Manhwa tells her friend to quit joking around. 1 hour later, at a high-end car dealership, Shen and Manhwa arrive to look at cars. A salesman approaches and asks which model interests them. The salesman immediately recognizes Manhwa as a former junior schoolmate. Manhwa also remembers him, Qin Yang, the older student who pursued her in high school. Qin Yang greets her enthusiastically, then turns to Shen to ask who he is. Shen introduces himself as Manhwa's classmate. Qin Yang coolly greets Shen and inquires which car he's interested in. Shen points to the dealership's M9 luxury sedan, wanting a closer look. The salesman says they're welcome to see the display model and sit inside if they'd like, but internally, Qin Yang is irritated. The base M9 starts at 500,000 yuan, and with fees it's over 600,000. This guy's dressed so plainly. He's obviously not loaded. Bringing a girl here just to show off? What a waste of my time. Looking at Manhwa, Qin Yang thinks, she's as beautiful as ever. My high school goddess. But now I'm different. I'm an elite salesman here, making over 10,000 yuan a month, and I drive a 200,000 yuan Accord. Women are practical. A guy like me is the real catch. He then tries to invite Manhwa to dinner, asking if she's free that evening. Manhwa awkwardly declines, saying she has other plans. Meanwhile, Shen, who's checking out the car interior, asks if they can arrange a test drive. Annoyed at being interrupted, Qin Yang brusquely apologizes and lies that the boss took the test car, so there's no way to test drive today. Shen is surprised, recalling he saw an M9 near the entrance. If Qin Yang can't arrange it, Shen tells him to send someone else who can. He steps out of the car and complains to the receptionist, requesting a different salesperson. A beautiful woman named Chen Na walks over and politely asks how she can help. Meanwhile, one of Qin Yang's colleagues asks him about the boy he referred to Chen Na. Qin Yang, furious, says he doesn't want to waste his time on a mere student, someone not even dressed in expensive clothes, who claims he wants to buy an M9 and test drive it. Isn't that absurd? He scoffs. His colleague warns that if the student truly intends to purchase the car, Qin Yang might regret brushing him off, but Qin Yang just smirks, insisting there's no chance. He's seen plenty of show-offs before. A poor guy bringing a gorgeous girl just to look important. Elsewhere, Chen Na arranges a test drive for Shen. She explains the car's features and performance in detail, but Shen isn't really listening. He's too busy admiring her looks and figure. She seems even more stunning than Manhwa. At the same time, Shen recalls rumors in the auto industry about saleswomen who go to great lengths to close deals with male customers. He wonders if Chen Na already has a sugar daddy somewhere. Noticing Shen's confident driving, Chen Na asks if he's already familiar with the M9 specs and what his approximate budget is. Shen simply asks if any units are available. He wants to take the car home today. Surprised, Chen Na explains that they don't have any in stock at the moment. However, another branch recently had a cancelled order because of the customer's financial issues, and they can bring that car over within a week. Shen agrees and tells her to place the order, astounding Chen Na. A car over 600,000 yuan, and he buys it after one test drive, without even asking the price. She begins to wonder if he might be the elusive angel client, or if he has some other motive. Chen Na then invites Shen to sit in the showroom and mentions he only needs to pay a 50,000 yuan deposit while she fetches the contract. Afterward, once the paperwork is finalized, she returns to the store. Qin Yang spots her and laughs, asking how the deal went. Chen Na remarks that the client has purchased the car. Nervous, Qin Yang insists the guy is just bluffing. When it comes time to pay, he'll disappear. His colleague also seems skeptical, but Chen Na clarifies that Mr. Shen plans to pay in cash. The two men are stunned, and Qin Yang's colleague can't believe Qin Yang let such a big sale slip away. After completing all the paperwork, Chen Na gives the documents to Shen and tells him to contact her anytime if he has any problems. She even offers him a ride, but Min Hui politely declines, saying they'll take a taxi. Chen Na, momentarily flustered, realizes she might have annoyed Shen's girlfriend by being a bit too attentive. Still, she thanks Shen for his purchase and wishes them well. Shen and Min Hui leave the dealership and head back toward the university. On the way, Shen asks Min Hui what she'd like to eat. When she only nods quietly, he teases her, asking if she's upset or jealous. Min Hui denies it while blushing, but her expression betrays her feelings. Shen laughs, explaining that his relationship with Chen Na is purely that of a salesperson and a client, nothing more. Min Hui, still suspicious, mentions how happily he was chatting with her, scrolling through her social media moments, and so on. Shen explains that it's just a habit. Whenever he adds someone new, he checks out their moments. Min Hui, embarrassed by her own jealousy, tells him not to do it next time. Even though she and Shen aren't officially in a relationship, she feels oddly possessive. She knows his generous lifestyle will attract other women, and if she wants to keep him to herself, she'd better think of a way to lock him down. Sensing her concern, Shen promises he'll be more considerate. Then he suggests they grab some food and hit the mall to pick out a gift. He mentions that if he's going to earn money, he needs to keep spending it too. Min Hui insists he doesn't need to buy her anything, reminding him that he just bought her 2 bags yesterday. She doesn't want to come off as a gold digger. Shen only smiles, telling her that for a girl, owning multiple bags is perfectly normal. There are 7 days in a week, so why not have a variety? Besides, the more he spends, the more he says he'll earn back somehow. They decide to stop by a nearby cafe. Shen asks if Min Hui wants a hot or cold drink. Min Hui blushes, wondering if he's indirectly asking about her period. Flustered, she says she wants an iced coffee. Shen, confused by her expression, thinks to himself that her mind is wandering somewhere odd. He also remembers he hasn't spent much money in the past 2 months, ever since his last encounter with Zhou Wanting, and he's itching to spend more. Then he decides it might be fun to stir up this misunderstanding a bit longer. 3 hours later, after eating and doing some shopping, Shen and Min Hui headed back. Min Hui was overwhelmed by how generous Shen was. In just 2 days, he had spent nearly 140,000 yuan on her, 80,000 yuan of that just today. Meanwhile, Shen received a system notification confirming a deposit of 252,000 yuan at 11:39 a.m. on May 12th, bringing his current balance to 2,254,256 yuan. Excited by how quickly he was reimbursed, he remarked that the system's double refund feature was no joke. He had just given his father 50,000 yuan and paid 50,000 yuan for the car deposit, and all of it came back instantly. Although the 2.17 million yuan in his account would eventually be used for the car's remaining balance, even subtracting the nearly 600,000 yuan still left him with more than 1.6 million yuan to spend. He glanced at Min Hui and suggested, "How about not going back to your dorm tonight?" Min Hui smiled and agreed. Half an hour later, they checked in at the Grand Magnate Hotel. While Shen showered, Min Hui felt embarrassed about how she would explain her absence to her roommate, Ling Ling. She debated whether to be honest. Should she say she was with Shen Yuan? A moment later, Shen emerged from the shower and asked if she was ready. Feeling guilty, Min Hui sent Ling Ling a message, telling her she wouldn't be returning to the dorm that night. If anyone asked, she'd say she went to visit relatives. After that, Shen made a move on Min Hui, and before long, they were intimately involved. Half an hour later, Min Hui thought, this isn't as scary as Ling Ling warned. Shen was also surprised by how readily Min Hui responded. He felt great, but also exhausted, realizing he hadn't exercised in 2 months and was out of shape. Min Hui, however, was still in a passionate mood and wanted to go again. Nervous, Shen tried to stall, saying he needed more rest, but Min Hui wouldn't take no for an answer. Early the next morning, Shen slipped back into his dorm. The first thing he did was pay off all his loans from various apps. To his surprise, the system also refunded those debt payments. Between loan apps and credit cards, he owed a total of 52,000 yuan. Then there was the 100,000 yuan he owed to Li Yuhang. When Shen's family had gone bankrupt, most of his so-called friends disappeared. But without hesitation, Li Yuhang had offered him financial help in his time of need. Just then, Shen's roommate asked where he had been the previous night, and mentioned that he should check the class group chat. Apparently, Li Jianping was inviting all the classmates to a dinner that evening. The class monitor was helping him organize it to show off the new car Li Jianping had bought. Shen's roommate noted that if they went, they'd have to endure Li Jianping's bragging. If they didn't, they'd forfeit their 200 yuan class fee. Shen replied that he had no interest in going, calling Li Jianping a show-off. Suddenly, the system prompted a time-limited task. The host will receive 1 million yuan exclusively for investments, which must be used up within 1 week. Reward: all income from any commercial activity will be doubled. Shen smiled, thinking a business-related task had come at the perfect time. He had been wondering what to do with the money in his account, and he needed a legitimate source of income to prove to his parents he was doing well. He figured he might invest in Li Yuhang's bar, which was under renovation, and have some fun in the process. So he messaged Li Yuhang, asked for the location, and confirmed he would join them that night. Later, in the private Dragon Lounge at the Nanjing restaurant, several of Shen's old friends waited with Li Yuhang. Lin Guangyao asked who else they were expecting, and another man in a black suit and glasses, Xie Haijie, remarked that all the important bros had already arrived. Zhao Zheng chimed in, agreeing that important people never arrive late. Smiling, Li Yuhang told them not to be impatient, and pointed to the fruit and snacks on the table, reminding them to help themselves while they waited for Shen Yuan. Lin Guangyao frowned, mentioning Shen's family bankruptcy, and questioning why they had invited him, since he was no longer in their circle. With a dismissive wave, Li Yuhang told Lin Guangyao to mind his own business, reminding him that he was footing the bill tonight. No one else had a right to complain. Besides, he said, Shen Yuan is my lifelong friend. It's different. Hearing that, Lin Guangyao backed down and quietly turned his attention to the tray of refreshments. Then Lin Guangyao turned to his cousin, Xie Haijie, and asked, "Didn't you say your girlfriend was coming tonight? Why isn't she here yet?" Xie Haijie replied, "She's stuck in traffic. She'll be here in about 10 minutes. Lin Guangyao fumed inwardly. He thought to himself, my cousin's family has always relied on ours. If it weren't for me, they wouldn't even have the right to be here. But somehow, my cousin ended up with this amazing girlfriend, especially with that tight skirt and white blouse. She's the kind of office temptation no man can resist. They're not even married, so there might still be a chance for me." Just then, Shen arrived, apologizing to everyone for keeping them waiting. Li Yuhang asked why it had taken him so long, and Shen explained that the taxi driver had gotten stuck in heavy traffic and taken a detour through the most jammed areas. Hearing this, Li Yuhang told Shen he should file a complaint. Lin Guangyao then commented sarcastically about Shen's arriving by taxi, pointing out how everyone else showed up in their own luxury cars, while he supposedly had a personal driver. He smirked, mocking Shen's choice of transportation. At that moment, Xie Haijie's girlfriend walked in, and to Shen's surprise, it was none other than Chen Na, the sales rep Shen had met when purchasing his car. She also apologized for being late because of the traffic. Standing up, Xie Haijie introduced her to the group as a sales rep at the Yao Yao dealership, adding that anyone interested in buying a car should contact her. Inwardly, he was quite proud, thinking he was richer than most of them, and that his girlfriend was also prettier. Chen Na recognized Shen as the customer who had just purchased a car the day before, but since Shen didn't greet her, she pretended it was their first time meeting. 40 minutes later, once everyone had settled in, Li Yuhang announced that he wanted to upgrade the bar he was setting up. Since they were all good friends, he wondered if anyone would be interested in investing with him to grow the business. The estimated cost was 2.4 million yuan, and he was willing to give up 30% of the shares in exchange for about 700,000 yuan in investment. He asked if anyone was interested. Silence filled the room. No one seemed eager to invest, especially since they weren't sure of getting their money back. Lin Guangyao silently thought that the Li family earned tens of millions a year. Why would Li Yuhang need others to invest just 700,000 yuan, unless his father had cut him off after some failed ventures? Xie Haijie knew that coming up with 700,000 yuan would take him at least 2 years of saving, and a third friend had only shown up for the free meal, not for investments. Feeling disappointed, Li Yuhang spoke up. "Why is everyone suddenly so quiet? We've all had dinner together. At least tell me if you're not interested. If you don't want to invest, just say so." Lin Guangyao responded, "I don't think you really need investors. If it's just a cash flow issue, we can each chip in a few thousand to help you open the place, and then you can pay us back when you start making money." Everyone else nodded in agreement, adding that becoming partners halfway through wouldn't be fair to him anyway. Besides, they had seen his previous ventures, like the Hot Pot restaurant and the KTV, both of which were failures. Now he wanted to open a chill bar, and they felt it might just be another money pit. Some of them also thought that if Lin Guangyao had the money, he could lend it privately. Why drag everyone else in? They all depended on their families for pocket money as it was. Li Yuhang was disheartened. All he had wanted was to partner with his so-called brothers and do business together, not borrow money or go into debt. Yet here they were, turning his idea of partnership into a mere loan agreement. These so-called brothers, especially Lin Guangyao, he realized bitterly, they do nothing but take advantage of me for food and drinks. When it comes to making money together, they back off. Finally, he said, if no one's interested, then forget it. Lin Guangyao shrugged. Talking about investments and partnerships doesn't make sense. Let's just keep eating, drinking, and having fun. Meanwhile, Shen observed them all quietly. He already knew these so-called friends were shallow, having seen their true colors when his own family went bankrupt. He wondered why someone as genuine as Li Yuhang continued to pin his hopes on people like this, parasites who lived off their parents' money and refused to help anyone unless it benefited them directly. Li Yuhang, clearly disappointed, told everyone they could do whatever they wanted. He was going home. Just then, Shen spoke up and said to him, if you need 700,000 yuan, I can invest. Everyone was shocked by Shen's offer. Lin Guangyao laughed scornfully and said, don't joke around. We've known you for a while, so we're aware of your family's situation. There's no need to show off. One of the others approached Shen and suggested he go to the bathroom, wash his face and clear his head, insisting that Li Yuhang, wasn't in the mood for nonsense. Xie Haiji also advised Shen, I'm older than you, and I have more experience. You have to act within your means. There's no point talking big. Lin Guangyao chimed in as well. Don't forget how you got here. Someone who arrives by taxi shouldn't be talking about investments. Standing nearby, Chen Na felt confused. Mr. Shen just bought a 600,000 yuan car yesterday. Why is everyone treating him like he's just bluffing? Although she wanted to speak up for Shen, she worried that intervening as an outsider might seem inappropriate. Suddenly, Shen asked Li Yuhang to check his phone. I've already transferred 700,000 yuan to your account, Shen said. Stunned, Li Yuhang opened his banking app. Sure enough, there was a notification stating that 700,000 yuan had been credited to his account. Lin Guangyao saw Li Yuhang's wide-eyed expression and asked what was going on. In response, Li Yuhang showed him the phone. Lin Guangyao's jaw dropped. Shen had really transferred 700,000 yuan. Chen Na, observing from the side, was astonished. How did the situation change so suddenly? One of the other friends, noticing Lin Guangyao's trembling hands, asked him why he looked so shaken. In a shaky voice, Lin Guangyao claimed he had urgent matters at home and had to leave immediately. Hey, what's going on? Xie Haiji asked, still baffled. But Lin Guangyao just told him not to pry, and even suggested he should go home too, claiming their uncle and aunt were looking for him. When Xie Haiji said they hadn't called, Lin Guangyao only grew more frustrated. My cousin can't even understand the gravity of the situation. Deciding it was useless to argue, he left in a hurry, cursing inwardly that Shen had stolen all the attention tonight. Another friend also looked at the message on Li Yuhang's phone, realized how serious the matter was, and decided it was best to leave as well. One by one, the others followed suit. Only then did Xie Haiji finally sense that something major had happened, but he still didn't fully understand. Chen Na advised him to leave, so he reluctantly complied. Outside, Xie Haiji turned to Chen Na. How did you know they were looking at a transfer record? You didn't even see the message. Chen Na hesitated, then explained. Yesterday, Mr. Shen bought an M9 in cash for over 600,000 yuan, so, him investing 700,000 yuan tonight doesn't surprise me at all. Xie Haiji was stunned. Are you joking? I'm serious, Chen Na replied. I have the purchase contract on my phone as proof. Realizing he might have misjudged the situation, Xie Haiji apologized, but then complained, if you knew he was rich, you should have told me earlier. Chen Na glared at him. Today, I realized exactly what kind of person you are. Don't ever contact me again. With that, she stormed off. Meanwhile, back at the table in the bar, Li Yuhang turned to Shen. If I'd known you were this wealthy, I wouldn't have set up this meeting. It was a total waste of time with those guys. Shen shook his head. No, it was necessary. Now you can see which of them are trustworthy. For casual fun, they might be fine, but you can't rely on them for serious matters. Afterward, Shen asked about the bar concept. Even though I'm only a minority shareholder, I want to help with the planning, he said. Grateful, Li Yuhang spent the next 30 minutes going over decor ideas and operational plans. Surprised by how thoughtful Shen's suggestions were, he said, You really didn't waste your time in college. You've got an interesting business vision. Shen grinned. That's just my commercial talent. But we both have classes and can't be here all the time, so we'll need a competent manager to handle day-to-day operations. An hour later, Shen received a message from Chen Na, who informed him that the car he had reserved was about to arrive at the dealership. He could come on Friday to pay the balance and pick it up. Shen told her not to worry, and asked if she was free the following night. He said he had a few specific questions about the car that he wanted to discuss in person. Chen Na wondered what Mr. Shen was up to. Why does he want to meet about car details so urgently? Meanwhile, Shen was contemplating how he could maximize his system's benefits. He currently only had Manhwa as his money tree, and the refunds weren't unlimited. If he spent money on other beautiful women, he could potentially receive more refunds. Chen Na was beautiful, with an incredible figure. Why not see if he could invest in her and get a system refund as well? The next day, Chen Na went to the location Shen had given her and waited, but Shen still hadn't arrived. Suddenly, an older man with a somewhat foolish expression approached her. It was her branch manager, Mr. Zeng, who had a reputation for flirting with her whenever he had the chance. Spotting her alone in her dealership uniform, he decided this was the perfect opportunity. He told his colleagues to go find somewhere else to eat. He had other things to do. The men knew exactly what he meant. One asked the other if he thought Chen Na would entertain Mr. Zeng's advances, but the second man shrugged, saying she didn't seem like that kind of person. The first insisted, "What kind of girl comes here alone? Maybe she set this up on purpose for him to find her." Nearby, unseen, stood Zi Haiji, who overheard their conversation. Meanwhile, Mr. Zeng approached Chen Na and asked if she was there by herself. "Mind if I join you?" he said. Chen Na apologized. "I'm waiting for a friend, Mr. Zeng." Smirking, Mr. Zeng muttered to himself, "She's still playing hard to get," and said aloud, "It doesn't matter if you're waiting for a friend. As your superior, I can join you. Let's eat together." Chen Na, furious, politely declined Mr. Zeng's offer and told him to keep a proper distance. She reminded him that he already had a family and shouldn't be doing things like this. Mr. Zeng, undeterred, said that if she was worried about his wife, he would divorce her for Chen Na's sake. Meanwhile, in another part of the mall, Zi Haiji was angrily wandering around, fuming over Chen Na's rejection. "How could she choose another man over me?" he thought. "I earn between 400,000 and 500,000 yuan a year, and I drive a car worth over 300,000. I'm not inferior to anyone." Then he spotted Chen Na sitting with Mr. Zeng. Shocked, he thought, "I can't believe I lost to that fat old pig." Approaching them, he shouted at Chen Na, accusing her of having an affair behind his back. Chen Na, confused, told him he was misunderstanding the situation. Mr. Zeng was equally puzzled, wondering who this crazy man was, but before anyone could explain, the furious Zi Haiji threw a punch at Mr. Zeng's face. Outraged, Mr. Zeng grabbed Zi by the collar and hit him back. The two brawled wildly, entertaining onlookers in the mall. Just then, Shen arrived and saw Zi Haiji fighting with Mr. Zeng. He secretly felt relieved, thinking, if it weren't for that fat man taking the brunt of it, I might have been the one lying on the floor right now. Shen took the opportunity to grab Chen Na's hand and quietly lead her away from the scene. While driving, Chen Na confessed to Shen that she had only been with Zi Haiji for 2 weeks. It was at that dinner when she realized his true character. Fortunately, she ended things that same night. Shen agreed that it was good she had discovered his nature early, rather than regretting it later. Chen Na sighed and said the problem wasn't over yet. Mr. Zeng, the one who got hit, was her boss. She had no idea how he would treat her after being attacked for no apparent reason. Shen told her that a boss like that didn't deserve her loyalty and advised her to find a new job. However, Chen Na said it wasn't that easy. Jobs were hard to find, and moving to a new store meant she would lose the customers she had built up over the years. She admitted that she was tired of sales and had long wanted to switch industries. Ideally, she would open a small cafe. If she felt good, she'd open longer. If not, she'd close early. It sounded perfect, but starting a cafe would cost somewhere between 300,000 and 400,000 yuan, and she had no idea when she could save that much. Hearing this, Shen told her that if she really wanted to open a cafe, she shouldn't worry about the money. He was willing to invest. Besides the 700,000 I put into Li Yuhang's bar, he thought, I've just gotten 300,000 yuan in exclusive investment funds. Chen Na still wasn't sure if he was serious, so she joked that if he really planned on funding the cafe, she'd quit her job immediately and work for him. Shen, wearing a serious expression, told her to resign tomorrow. He promised to invest 300,000 yuan to open a cafe, and she would manage it for him. Shocked, Chen Na wondered if she had heard him correctly, while Shen felt a surge of excitement at the prospect of cultivating a new money tree. Chen Na was shocked. She asked Shen if he was being serious or just joking with her. Shen smiled and assured her he was completely serious. "Don't you want to work for me? Once the cafe is up and running, I'll pay you 12,000 yuan a month plus bonuses. If the cafe does well after 3 months, I'll give you a car worth 200,000 yuan. Chen Na was surprised and found it hard to believe how generous Shen's offer was. No sales pressure, just work for 3 months and get a car, and her annual income would exceed 300,000 yuan. However, a small part of her worried that Shen might have ulterior motives. Perhaps he wanted to keep her around for personal reasons. She told him it wasn't worth going to such lengths just for her. As tempting as his offer sounded, she didn't want to become a caged canary, and certainly not someone's third wheel. Shen smiled and told her not to overthink it. He explained that he planned to open a chain of cafes, and this first one was simply a pilot project. Their relationship, he emphasized, would be strictly that of boss and employee, nothing more. Chen Na blushed and asked Shen to give her some time to consider. Just then, Shen received a message from Manhwa, asking if he was free tonight and suggesting they go out for a cold drink. Shen, slightly surprised by Manhwa's boundless energy, texted back that he would come. He then turned to Chen Na, telling her he had something else to do and would be leaving. He asked her to think it over carefully and let him know once she made up her mind. Later, in room 808 at the Grand Magnate Hotel, Shen walked in to find Manhwa grabbing him from behind, declaring how much she had missed him. Suddenly, she noticed another woman's scent on him. Shen looked around, realizing it could be from riding in Chen Na's car and picking up her perfume. Manhwa pushed him away, demanding to know why he was meeting other women behind her back. Shen pulled her into a hug, insisting there was a misunderstanding, that she was the only one he truly cared for. He explained that the lingering perfume might have come from female sales staff at the car dealership, where he'd been handling some paperwork earlier. Those saleswomen wore lots of perfume to attract customers. Manhwa accepted his explanation, but told him that if he ever went out with another woman again, he should let her know first, and that he should also keep his distance from any overly friendly salesgirls. Shen nodded in agreement, though inwardly he knew he couldn't completely stick to one money tree. His system required tasks involved spending money on various women to earn refunds, making it impossible to focus on just one person. With the misunderstanding cleared up, Manhwa told Shen she was going to take a shower and asked him to wait. However, Shen grabbed her from behind and tossed her onto the bed, telling her she didn't need to clean up first. He liked her just the way she was. They kissed and began their exercise. 2 hours later, Manhwa still wasn't satisfied and wanted to continue, but Shen felt exhausted. He told her to wait while he took a shower, complaining that he was sweaty and uncomfortable. One thing Shen realized was that Manhwa had far more energy than Zhou Wanting. While Manhwa seemed happy and energetic, he was completely wiped out. This kind of exercise boosted Manhwa's affinity for him significantly. Last time, her affinity went up to 86 in just one night, and this time, after 2 rounds, it hit 90. When Manhwa's affinity level reached 90, Shen received a system notification that he had completed an affinity task and was rewarded with a 1 million yuan lottery ticket and a new skill called Ruthless X Power. Shen was surprised, but also elated. With a 1 million yuan lottery ticket, he could explain his sudden windfall more easily and use it to pay off his family's debts. He was even more excited about the skill. With Ruthless X Power, he believed he could completely dominate Manhwa in the future. From now on, she would no longer control him. She would be under his control. As Shen activated the skill, he felt a powerful surge of energy coursing through him. His manhood solidified again, and a wave of renewed strength spread throughout his body. The rewards for reaching an affinity level of 90 with the opposite sex are amazing, he thought to himself. It seemed the system provided benefits tailored to his needs. He also realized how difficult it was to reach a level of 90 affinity. Li Xiao had surpassed 60, but matching Manhwa's level would be a long journey. As for Chen Na, with her long legs and black stockings, she was also over 60, but he would have to take things one step at a time. He wasn't sure when he'd next see another woman reach 90 affinity, or what new rewards he might earn. But for now, he decided not to worry about it. All that mattered was testing out the power the system had given him. Approaching Manhwa, who was still surprised by his sudden resurgence of energy, Shen grinned and said he wanted more exercise before taking a shower. Meanwhile, across town at Chen Na's house, Chen Na was on the phone with her friend Qian Qian. She told Qian Qian that a young man had offered her a total of 300,000 yuan to help open a store, plus the promise of a 200,000 yuan car after 3 months. Does he want to keep me? And he already has a girlfriend, Chen Na fretted. Qian Qian jokingly asked if Chen Na was kidding or if she had run into a scammer. Chen Na insisted it was genuine. She had met Shen several times, and he even bought a car with her. Hearing this, Qian Qian asked how old he was, pointing out that most of the buyers at her dealership tended to be middle-aged men. Chen Na replied that he was only 21, which stunned Qian Qian. A luxury car at that age, plus he was handsome? Chen teased that a guy so wealthy, young, and good-looking sounded perfect. Why hesitate? But Chen Na worried that Shen was 5 or 6 years younger than she was. Chen reassured her that being a few years older was no big deal. There's a saying that if a woman is 3 years older, it's like hugging a gold bar. In this case, it might be 2 gold bars. Chen Na also reminded her friend that Shen already had a girlfriend. Chen shrugged it off, saying a girlfriend wasn't the same as a wife, and under those circumstances, it didn't matter anyway. When Chen Na continued to protest, Chen jokingly offered to take the little millionaire off her hands if she was too indecisive, adding that she'd break up with her own boyfriend in a heartbeat for such a catch. After ending the call, Chen Na stood by her window, gazing outside and thinking about Shen's offer. She still felt torn, wondering what she should ultimately decide. 40 minutes later at the Grand Magnate Hotel, Manhwa lay there, fully satisfied, telling Shen he was different than before, much stronger. Shen smiled and asked if she was happy. Manhwa blushed, reflecting on how they had already exercised twice in just over 40 minutes. Shen leaned in and whispered, suggesting they go for another round if she liked it so much. Flustered, Manhwa asked if he really had the stamina. Shen grinned, reminding her that she'd studied dance and inviting her to take the lead this time. Though embarrassed, Manhwa agreed, and they continued their exercise late into the night. The next day, after Fang Manhwa returned to school, Shen was still feeling sleepy. He had no morning classes, and suddenly remembered the lottery ticket he'd received from the system. Checking it against the winning numbers, he was shocked to discover he had won 6.8 million yuan. Overjoyed, he jumped out of bed and rushed to tell his parents the good news. Ever since the family had gone bankrupt, they had been struggling. When he reached home, he called for his mother at the door. She asked why he was shouting, and Shen insisted she bring his father. He had something important to tell them. His father emerged, concerned that Shen might be in trouble, but Shen flashed a wide grin, declaring that their family was now rich. He had won 6.8 million yuan in the lottery. His parents were skeptical at first, thinking he was just stressed about their debts. They urged him to focus on his studies, assuring him they would handle the family's financial issues. In response, Shen showed them the ticket along with the official winning numbers. His father carefully checked and was astonished to find they had truly hit the jackpot. Both parents were speechless at first, barely able to believe they had suddenly come into 6.8 million yuan. Shen pointed out that after the 20% tax deduction, they would still have more than 5 million left, enough to clear the family's debts and vastly improve their lives. His mother, overjoyed, thanked him repeatedly, grateful they were no longer weighed down by debt. She suggested they celebrate this huge stroke of luck. Shen then explained that after graduation, he planned to start his own business to gain some real-world experience. His father supported the idea, advising Shen that business could be tough, but encouraging him to use his youth and capital wisely. He also recommended that Shen set aside some of the money in case his venture didn't go as planned. Shen agreed, saying he would only take 1 million yuan for himself and let his parents use the rest as they saw fit. They happily agreed, promising to support him no matter what he decided to do. At Chen Na's workplace, her boss, Mr. Zeng, summoned her to his office, demanding an explanation about the recent incident at the mall. Chen Na explained she had broken up with that man long ago and had nothing to do with him anymore. If he was injured, he should confront the culprit himself. Mr. Zeng refused to accept this, insisting that if it weren't for her, the man wouldn't have attacked him. In truth, he wanted to use the incident as leverage to gain some hold over her. However, Chen Na stayed firm, pointing out she had warned him she had a date that day, yet he insisted on sitting with her regardless. Mr. Zeng only smiled and called her stubborn. He accused her of abandoning her post the previous afternoon and leaving customers unattended, then announced he was suspending her customer service duties for the month. He told her to reflect on her mistake. Outraged, Chen Na retorted that she had asked for permission to leave, but Mr. Zeng merely laughed and reminded her that he was the general manager, and thus had the authority to do as he pleased. Realizing she would lose her commissions and be left with only a base salary of 1,200 yuan, not nearly enough to cover her rent, Chen Na's anger boiled over. She told Mr. Zeng his position had gone to his head and that she would quit if she must. Concerned, Mr. Zeng stood up, urging her to reconsider, yet she declared there was nothing more to think about. She was done with this useless job. Half an hour later, she texted Shen, telling him she had quit and asking if his offer from the previous day still stood. Shen congratulated her on escaping that hell and stepping toward a brighter future, adding that she should start scouting a few locations. If she found one suitable, they would move forward together. Meanwhile, Shen went to see Professor Li, who was busy moving her office belongings. Having too much to carry alone, She asked Shen for help. She had planned to ask the class monitor, but he was on leave. Shen gladly offered assistance, pointing to a heavy filing cabinet and asking if it also needed to be moved. Professor Lee nodded, explaining that while she could manage the books and supplies by herself, the desk and cabinet were too heavy. She told him to remove the books from the top first to keep them from falling. As she stretched to reach the items, her hand couldn't quite grasp them. Shen moved in close to help, and Professor Lee suddenly realized how near he was standing to her. Embarrassed, her thoughts drifted back to their previous interactions. This time felt even more intimate. Could Shen Yuan really be developing feelings for her? That's all for today, everyone. Before we wrap up, I want to let you know that we've recently launched a membership program here, where you can enjoy perks like early access to videos and soon, exclusive content just for members. You'll also receive custom badges and emojis to enhance your interactions. If you're interested, consider joining our membership to enjoy these benefits. Check out the link in the description to join. See you all in the next video.